We're live?
Nope, we're live now, I think.
Yes, I see the live.
Okay, awesome. So that should be live on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube.
Okay.
So we're everywhere. Let's see. Make sure it's posted. Hmm. Hello, everyone. We are live. This is Black Equity Talk, your host, TK. And this is my first time going live, so I hope everything is being broadcasted correctly and everybody can hear and see us very well. I have a special guest who I'm going to bring in just a moment. So, all right, so this is Black Equity Talk, and here we discuss topics related to the health and wealth of the Black community. And today I have a very special guest, and I'm going to bring her in now. Her name is Yolanda Pinckney, and she is Miss Black Miss New York International Ambassador. That is a mouthful.
It is.
Can you tell us, what is this pageant? What is the title?
So I'm part of the Miss Black International Ambassador pageant system, and basically is women of color who are change agents for their community and for the world. So our main mission is to go out and spread awareness in regards to our platforms and just leave a positive impact in our world and in our society today.
Oh, that's awesome. And your platform in specific is epilepsy awareness, correct? Okay, we're going to get into that in a little bit. Can you tell the audience, how did you initially become interested in doing pageants?
So I started doing pageants when I was 18 years old. I just did it because I thought they were fun. Growing up, I was kind of a shy person. So for me to finally reach the age of 18, I'm technically an adult. I just decided, you know what, I don't want to live my adult life going through life being shy or feel like I'm missing out on any opportunities. So there was this one pageant. It was Miss New York Tourism. I applied for that. I ended up competing while I was 18, and I've been hooked ever since. I've been doing a pageant almost every year since I turned 18, and it's been a blessing. I meet so many amazing women and create so many different network connections, and it's a blessing. And that is honestly my one time of the year where I get to go out, get dressed up, have my makeup done professionally, pictures, the whole 9 yards, and it's amazing experience. And
Yeah,
oh, I'm sorry.
no, go ahead.
Well, each time I do a pageant, I learn something new about myself, and I gain a little bit more confidence and more self love while I'm doing it. So it's a really good experience.
Wow, that's awesome. And how old are you, if you don't mind me asking?
I'm 23 years old. I turned
23.
24 in July. Yes.
Oh, cool. Which part of July?
July 20th. So I'm like kind
Okay.
of on the cusp of Cancer and Leo, but I identify more
Mhm.
as Cancer. super simple.
Okay. Oh, really? My birthday is in July too, July 30th. So that's not too
Oh,
far
see?
off.
You're like
Yeah.
my mom.
Oh, really? Your mom is a Leo?
Yes.
Oh, cool. Leos are great, right? No.
Y'all are something
Uh,
else.
I had to do that. Okay. So, your title is Miss, and I noticed there was a Ms. and a Mrs.
Yeah.
What are the differences between those three?
So the category that I'm in, I've never been married, don't have any children, and so I'm part of the Miss category. Miss MS, those are people that either were married, maybe are divorced, separated, or have kids, and they have like and that's for any like age kind of, and then the Misses
Mhm.
is for married women. And the good thing with
Okay.
like this pageant system is that they have all those categories and Miss Teens. So it's a lot of options for women who may not, who either are married or have kids or even aged out of the Miss category system, so that everyone, every woman who wants to enjoy pageantry, they have a category for them, which is pretty great.
Oh, that is great. That's awesome.
Because all you hear
And
about
do
is
you,
like the Miss, the regular Miss.
right. And that's why I wondered that. I knew Mrs. meant you're married, but I wasn't sure about the other category. So have you done a lot of diverse pageants, or are they mostly pageants with that was my son there.
He's adorable. How old is he?
Thank you. He's 8 years old.
Aw, how's he doing with everything going on in the world?
Yeah, he's really adjusting very well. He's very resilient. So
That's
he's
good.
yeah, we're making it.
That's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah. So yeah, so have you done pageants mainly with a theme of Black Americans, or have you done diverse pageants?
So the first two pageants I did was the Miss New York Tourism pageant. So those were diverse. Um, this current pageant is clearly, geared towards women of color. And then my pageant before then was Miss Black America. I did their 50th
Hmm.
anniversary pageant, and that was an amazing
Wow.
experience. So I think I'm at a point right now where, with everything going on in our world today, and people are getting back to loving, you know, being black and getting back into our history and stuff like that. I think going further, I may continue to do more black pageants. I'm not too sure,
Hmm.
but it's I definitely love it. Meeting other women of color that are the best in their areas of life, whether job wise, school, stuff like that. It's really a blessing and a good experience. Very inspiring, actually.
Yeah. And there's a lot of pageants that are having their first winner being a Black
Yeah.
person. So that's inspiring to me because it's showing that the world is starting to open up to different types of beauty. So I love that.
Yes. Actually, now that you said that, there was one lady. She just won. I believe it's Miss Grand International. She's a
Hmm.
beautiful dark brown skinned woman, and she had her
Yeah.
nice natural hair. She represented the USA,
Yes.
and I her name starts with a I don't want to pronounce it wrong. Ab Abby. I don't want to pronounce it wrong, but she is such a beautiful
Yeah.
woman. So she was actually the first black woman to win, I believe, Miss Grand International. I think that's the pageant system.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah. I wasn't sure of her name either, but I do know who you're talking about.
yeah.
Yeah, that was, yeah. So your platform currently that you're running is epilepsy awareness, and you were recently diagnosed. Can you take us back to that moment where you found out that you have epilepsy?
So it happened last year, last January actually. I had started a new job. I know we're gonna get into this later, but I'm in the military, New York Army National
Mhm.
Guard, and I had finally gotten a full time position in the Guard. And so I had started that December, and in a few weeks into starting, I started having seizures at work. So I had one week, and then the next week I was getting ready to go home, and I was talking to a master sergeant. We was just talking, and then I ended up having one. And
Mm.
he, when I finally came back around, he took me to the hospital. Thankfully, there's a VA hospital near where I worked. He took me into the hospital. He stayed with me until my mom came, and they did some tests on me. It was kind of late, so I had to go in the next day. They did an MRI on my brain, EEG scan, and once they did the EEG scan, that's when they saw that I had seizure activity in my brain. And then they asked me like, has this happened before? And I said yes. At the time, I did not know those were seizures. I
Mm.
I just thought, maybe I something clearly isn't right, but I just thought those were isolated situations. And so because I had two or more unprovoked seizures, I was diagnosed with epilepsy. And the crazy thing is, I actually had my first seizure in 2018. I was
Oh.
walking around Manhattan. I remember it was a Saturday. It was a Saturday in September. I was walking around Manhattan. I had a photo shoot that day, and so one thing about me, I love to walk. I could walk
Mhm.
miles, and I live in New York, so I can do it.
Yeah.
I was walking in Manhattan after the photo shoot had finished. I was on the phone with my grandmother, and I was talking to her. She lived in Georgia at that time, and she was on the phone arguing with me like she always does, because she couldn't understand why I chose to walk and not take my cell phone home. So I'm on the phone with her. She's telling me, you should go home. You don't have to be out in the street walking around and whatnot. I'm like, Grandma, fine. I'm going to go home. I'm hungry, so I'm going to go get something to eat, get something to drink, and then I promise you, I'm going to go home. So I'm on the phone with her. I'm telling her like all the different sites that I'm seeing. And then all of a sudden, I don't remember. I
Mm.
I remembered before it happened that I was walking towards like Fulton Street to go get something to eat. And when I finally came back around, I was sitting near the 6th train at the Wall Street station. I was sitting near there. One of the street vendors was telling me that he needed his chair back because he was getting ready to leave. And I get up and I'm just like what happened? I'm tired. I'm still a little out of it, but I'm coming back around to like understanding where my surroundings are, like everything. And I look at my phone. For some reason, I saw that I had called my mom and I had called my grandmother and my brother a few times. So I called my mom and I tell her, hey, can you come pick me up? And I send her my location. She comes pick me up. She's on the phone with my grandmother in the car. And my grandmother's saying that, oh, like you was on the phone with me and then you started talking some nonsense. Like in her words, she said that it sounded like I had lost my mind. And
Mm.
we didn't know like what happened at all. And my mom, she's a nurse, so she was like, I'm taking you to the hospital to get it checked out. And we went to the hospital, we went to the ER, and it was packed that night. And I'm already tired, and I just was like, I don't need to go to the hospital. I don't need to stay here. I'll get it checked out on my own time. So clearly, I didn't get it checked out. I didn't get it
Yeah.
checked at all. And my mom, my grandmother, they keep getting on me like, go get it checked out. Never did. So then that following year, I had another seizure. Now that I know that's what it was, seizure. I had one in August. I was at Black Vegas Fest. It was my first time
Mm.
going there. One of the biggest vegan festivals ever. It was my first time going there, and I had a mini one. I was on the phone with someone.
Mm.
I was trying to get them to come to the festival, and I felt a little weird. I felt off, but I thought maybe because it's a hot day, I'm doing a lot of walking. Maybe that's why. And I'm on the phone with this person, and all of a sudden I couldn't remember who I was. Well, he said that I couldn't, like, he was asking me questions that I did not know the answer to. He was asking me like, call your mom. Do you know who your mom is? I couldn't answer. I didn't know who I
Mm,
was. So that happened. Again, my mom, she's telling me, go to the doctor, get it checked out, go to the hospital. I refused to do it. And
mhm.
by that time, my grandmother, she already had passed away. But I refused to do
No.
it. And then it took me getting the job that I had been praying for
Mhm,
in order for me to end up having seizures at work, in order for me to finally go get it checked out. And that's when I found out, oh, those are seizures. You have epilepsy. Uh, I was officially diagnosed with partial complex seizures, and they're the absent kind. So I learned throughout, after being diagnosed, that there are different types of seizures. The seizures I have are the ones that I could be talking to you, and I will just stare blankly at you. I won't remember anything, and I could say some crazy weird stuff and I won't remember. Or I could do like a repetitive motion and I won't know anything. And it's something that I'm dealing with. Thankfully I'm on medication, it's being taken care of, but at the time hearing that, oh, like this is what you have, that you're having seizures, you know no one wants to hear any of that.
right. Yeah. I'm sure that had to be scary for you. You were about 20 the first time you had a
I
seizure, or how
21
you
that
would
time.
turn
So
20?
I was
Yeah.
fully grown, adult, legal
Right.
and everything. So I didn't want to hear what my
Yeah.
mom and grandmother had.
Yeah. And for other people listening to your story, they're not sure what's going on. It just sounds like maybe you're having, some other type of issue that it doesn't look like. When I think of a seizure, I'm thinking of someone like passed out on the ground, and maybe, we always hear of making sure they don't swallow their tongue. And I know that's absolutely incorrect. Never put anything in someone's mouth if they're
Never.
having a seizure. Yeah, but we don't know what seizures look like a lot of the time. So it's interesting to hear that from you, that you can have epilepsy, but there's several different types of seizures that you could
Yeah.
have with that diagnosis.
I honestly would encourage everyone. It's free to get seizure first aid and rec seizure prevention. You could get certified in that through the Epilepsy Awareness Foundation. I did that because, you know, this is now my new life. This is my new normal. And God forbid anything happens to me, or I see someone else having that, like at least I could be able to help. And another
Hmm.
thing I also want to share. So last year, with COVID and everything, I'm working from home. My mom's working from home. A lot of the seizures that I had took place outside. Like I wasn't, like I I wasn't with my family or anything like that. So came some times where I ended up having seizures at home. And what my mom did, she recorded it for me so that when I finally did come out of that, I could see how my seizures look, like what I look like having a seizure. And like you said, you wouldn't know that I was having a seizure. You might think that I'm on drugs or that I'm just
Hmm.
crazy. And a lot of people might think that. So, it's something I definitely would encourage people to um to do, is just become more aware of the different types of
Yeah.
seizures, because everyone experiences them differently.
Yeah, definitely. And I heard you mention that you're vegan, but I also learned or heard from someone else that the keto diet was good for epilepsy. I don't know if you've heard that before, but were you vegan prior to being diagnosed, or has this been a lifestyle for you for a long
So
time?
I've heard about the keto diet being good
Hmm.
for epilepsy. I've never tried it. The first time I had my seizure, I wasn't vegan. I've been vegan for a little over 2 years now, but I, I just wasn't. When I did
Okay.
become vegan, in 2019, well, end of 2018, 2019. Um, it was something that I just chose to do. And even though I was vegan, I still ended up having a seizure and multiple seizures after that fact.
Mm-hmm.
So I just think in my case, my seizures are more so um, genetic. That's another
Mm-hmm.
thing. I get it. My dad passed away from seizures. He actually had the ones where you fall out on the floor. You see them, their eyes rolling back in their head, stuff like that. He had that, and then I found out that my mom's grandmother had it as well. So certain things work for certain people. I personally would not try the keto diet because I know you can still eat chicken and stuff like that. I don't want to go back to eating that. I like being,
Mm-hmm.
and honestly, I feel like maybe my, I don't know. I just, no, I wouldn't try keto diet, but I've heard of it.
Yeah.
Some people said it works good. Others say no.
Mm-hmm.
It goes based on each person.
Yeah, that's probably with most things.
Yes.
Just you have to know your own personal body to
Mhm.
figure out what's the best thing for you. Yeah. So you are, or you were in the military,
No, I'm still.
and oh, you still are in the military. Okay. So how is that with having a disorder like epilepsy and being in the military? Do you have to do anything differently, or how does that look?
So, when I had my seizure at work last year, I ended up, because it was a full time military position, somewhat everyone knew about it. And
Mm-hmm.
so I ended up getting an LOD. I think that's, what is it? Like, it's kind of like a written paper, or just to say that I got something happened to me at work. So I ended up getting that. And then the military has something called a profile, where if they feel like you get hurt, or you're not medically stable to like continue in the military, you'll be put on a profile. And I was on a temporary profile. Temporary profiles last up to 1 year, and every 3 months they evaluate you to see how you're doing, and they'll keep evaluating you and extending your profile for up to a year. So when I first got on my profile, I could not carry a weapon for a year, and I couldn't drive, and I
Mm-hmm.
couldn't take a PT test, a physical fitness test. So those were my restrictions during that time. And every 3 months, I had to, show proof and documentation from my doctor that I'm stable, I'm taking my medication, I'm not having any seizures or anything like that. And so this February, my profile became a permanent profile. So my restrictions have been lifted. I can drive if I have to get a driver's license first, but I can drive, and I can carry a weapon, so I can do weapons qualification, and I could basically do everything I need to do as a soldier. But
Okay.
that was just my only situation when it came to my condition.
Okay, that's great. I wasn't aware of that. So it's good that they were allowing you to do still do your job. You said that this was your dream job, right? How long have you been interested in being in the military?
Well, so I joined the military when I was 18. It was just something
Hmm.
that I did because I did not want to pay for college. I did not want to go into debt paying for it. And at the time, I was not in a healthy situation. So I thought joining the military would be my best option. So I joined the New York Army National Guard, which is 1 week in a month, 2 weeks a year. And I was doing that. And when I came back home from training and everything, I, continued with drilling. And then I was working like these little dead end jobs. And I tried college twice.
Hmm.
It didn't work out. And so what happened is, being a National Guard, you're usually a part-time soldier, and the rest of the time you're a civilian. So they have full-time positions if you want that you could apply for, and you could work full-time, basically like active duty. You could work full-time and still be part of the National Guard. So my grandmother, she was one of my biggest supporters. She told me that I already got the hardest part out the way, which was going through basic training, going through AIT and stuff like that. I already got it out the way, and I'm in the military. I'm in here for the next 6 years. My contract is 6 year contract, and she was like, make the most out of it. You know, try working for them full time because she was tired of seeing me at these dead end jobs, basically getting nowhere in life. And
Mm-hmm.
so in 2019, it was I'm halfway through my contract, third year. I finally decided to listen to her. You know, I went through I was offered a school called BLC, Basic Leaders Course. I was offered a school that led to me getting promoted as a sergeant, E5. I took that. I went on a mission that year, upstate New York. Apparently, upstate they flood a lot, so they needed soldiers to like build sandbags and stuff like that. I did that, and I was really starting to take the whole military thing seriously. And
Mm-hmm.
so later on that year, I saw, because I kept an eye out for all the jobs they had on their website. I saw that there was a job for retention NCO, and I'm like, oh, this is perfect for me. I love talking to people. I think I could get soldiers to stay in the military. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
pretty good. I could share my experience about how when I first joined it, I just wanted to do the bare minimum and going about my business. So, and look at me now. I'm here
Yeah.
make the most out of it and go after everything that the army has to offer. So I applied for it. I prayed on it, you know, um, everything, and I finally got it. And then, of course, my seizures started happening, and then things went downhill ever since. Yeah.
Okay. But
Yeah.
you're coming through it, I'm sure, because you seem to have a very positive attitude about everything that you've been through. No, with COVID, I'm sure working from home and all of
Mhm.
those things are hard for most of the people that are probably watching now. But you seem to have a very positive attitude. How do you handle stress and anxiety?
Well, honestly, I had to have a positive attitude. When you're diagnosed with a seizure disorder, people kind of count you out. Like they just feel like, oh, you're not capable, or they pity you for having that.
Mhm.
And so I'm not gonna lie, there were times that I did get depressed. I stressed out a lot about my situation. I cried a lot. Thankfully not in
Mhm.
public. If I needed to cry and pity myself, I just go in my room, shut the door, and have my alone time to myself. But I just had to realize that this is something that I wanted, and the last thing I'm gonna let happen is let this diagnosis get to me. You know, I
Mhm.
I came this far.
Yeah.
And we I had my first seizure in 2018, and I'm still here. You know,
Mhm.
I just wasn't gonna let anything get in the way of me living my life, and by me educating myself about my condition and doing what my doctor is telling me to do, that definitely helped, and it gave me some hope because there are a lot of people that you probably wouldn't even know have this, and they're
Mhm.
making amazing strides within our society, and you wouldn't know. Like, for example, do you know Prince? He actually
Mhm.
had epilepsy, and look at
I
him.
did not know that.
He had it.
Yeah.
um Harriet Tubman, I found out, had it.
Oh,
So
wow.
inspirations like that, if these great people, accomplish so much in their life,
Yeah.
what's stopping me? You know. So
Yeah.
that, and
That's
then
awesome.
plus I'm just determined. Like, I know the type of
Mhm.
life that I want, and the last thing I want to let happen is this get in the way of it. As long as I'm still
Mhm.
breathing and I'm still in my right state of mind, nothing can stop me.
I love that. That is beautiful. And you're right. It's all about your mindset, I think, and just that's where everything starts is in your mind. So once you set your mind to it, you make a choice, then that's the first part of it.
Yes, definitely. Your mind is stronger than
Yeah.
people give credit to. It's most
Mhm.
stronger.
Yeah. So you're now in a good place. You're medicated. Are your seizures happening less often, or are you just knowing how to manage it? Is there a way to know when it's about to start, or how can you kind of warn or prepare yourself or your body for a seizure?
So there's a thing called auras. Not everyone with seizures have them, but thankfully I now know that that's what the feeling is. Um I could sense when something is wrong. I could sense when something is not right with me. And so sometimes a seizure may happen after that, or sometimes it may not. It just depends. But thankfully,
Mhm.
I'm able to sense, like, okay, I think I may have a seizure. Let me go sit myself down somewhere. If I'm at home, I'll go sit myself in front of my mom. Or if I'm out in public, I'll go sit somewhere and I'll try to call my mom before. If a seizure does come up, I'll try to call her before, just so I'm on the phone with her. But
Mhm.
that's really it. I actually left the job that I had manifested and prayed for because of certain situations. And after leaving that, like, I still take my medication, but I could go long periods of time without taking it, and throughout the day, and nothing happens. I think the type of stress that I was under at my previous job was taking a huge toll on me, to the point where if
Mhm.
I like missed like my dose of medication for like more than an hour or something, I could start feeling like something's coming on. And now
Wow.
that I'm not in that situation no more, I don't feel anything. So I'm doing pretty good. I'm glad
Good.
I'm
Good.
doing pretty good.
Awesome. That's good to hear.
Thank you.
Yeah. So I have a question that I ask of everybody who is on the show, and that is, what is your favorite wealth building activity?
So what I've been getting into a lot lately is I've been watching a lot of YouTube videos of Black successful women, and
Mhm.
how they are saving their money, investing their money, building their wealth and stuff like that. So I would take notes from them and apply it to my life, and that has honestly been some big blessings for me, because now I've gotten into cryptocurrency, growing my investment accounts, learning to try to save more, and it's been pretty good. I'm making little strides, and I think now is the best age to do so, because I'm working. I'm still
Mhm.
young for the most part, and I don't
Yeah.
have any kids. I
Yeah.
feel young for the most part. Sometimes I feel old, but I don't have any kids. Um, and I still live at home with my mom, and I'm blessed for her, because she doesn't really, ask me like to pay rent or pay anything. The only thing I have to pay is a phone bill and buy my food,
Mhm.
because I'm really vegan in my household, and that's really it.
Oh yeah.
And
Yeah.
that, I'm free to do whatever I want with my money.
And
So
you
that's.
choose to invest and save, which is awesome. And
Mhm.
like you said, being young, you have time on your side, which is one of the best things when you're investing, having that time to let your money build and grow. And yeah, so that's awesome. Cryptocurrency, what is your favorite coin?
So I've been doing a lot of research on this. So we all know Bitcoin's really hype. It's trying to take the place of gold and whatnot. I have been learning more about Ethereum and Litecoin.
Hmm.
So I went and bought one coin of each. I'm hoping to keep building that, but Ethereum right now is like in the 2000s right now. So I'm trying to, build a little here and there. But right
Hmm.
now, those are my two coins. Of course, I got into the Doge coin. I've got into that.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
I've been really diversifying my portfolio when it comes to cryptocurrency. I'm invested in what is it, Cardano. stellar lumens. What else? I have money in different coins, but I've been really more focused on the Litecoin and the Ethereum coin. That has been my main focus. And then I put a little money in Bitcoin. I see it grows and whatnot, but I don't have $50,000 to be buying one coin. So I
Yeah.
bought myself an Ethereum and a Litecoin, and I'll keep putting money in that. So hopefully I get more coins. And yeah.
Yeah, yeah, Bitcoin. I know a lot of people wish they would have put money in once they heard
Mhm.
about it. Like, oh, everybody's like, oh, I heard about that in 2015, and
Yep.
so that goes to show you how time is really the biggest thing when it comes to investing. So
Hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, because I still kick myself because I was in high school. I remember I paid for something. Someone wanted something, and they wanted me to pay through Bitcoin. So I had to make an account with some online broker or whatnot, and I bought like a little piece of Bitcoin. And I'm so mad that one, I can't
Wow.
remember who that broker is, and two, like if I had a known that Bitcoin was going to be this big,
Yeah.
I would have put some. I would have saved my allowance and put something in it. That's why, like, let me
So
not wait too late when it comes to like Ethereum and Litecoin, because those are kind of like the big ones right now.
that are coming up. Yeah. So someone actually wanted you to pay through Bitcoin. That was very smart of them back then.
Mhm. And I'm
Wow.
just
Was
like, I don't want to have to go through all this and whatnot, but I'm
yeah.
doing it though.
Yeah. Wow. I missed that boat, but there's always other opportunities.
Mhm. They always come out with different coins, different things,
Yeah.
always.
Yeah, and it's never too late to you can, put a little bit in at a time, and I'm sure it'll go to 100,000, and then we'll be like, I wish I would have bought it in 2020, 2021 or whatever.
Yeah, that 50,000 right now though.
Yeah, yeah.
Put a little something in it, let it grow on and stuff like that.
Yeah. Wow. So it was so good talking to you. Do you have any other things that you would like us to know about, epilepsy or anything else that you would like us to know?
I would just encourage people to definitely get educated, not just on epilepsy, but try to get educated on other diseases and disorders. Put yourself in someone's shoes who may be going through something. Don't always be quick to judge or think you know everything, because that's not always the case. And and I think that's it. That was like my main point that I wanted to get out, because like I said, going through this, having people doubt you because they see that you have this condition, that hurts more than anything else, honestly. The conditions,
Yeah.
yeah, it's rough to go through, but having people's pity and self and doubt on you as well, that is even more stress. And people who have any type of disease or disorders or whatnot, they don't need that extra added stress. Because
Hmm.
9 times out of 10, most of us already feel bad that we have this, and we don't need any extra people to make us feel worse. And I think that's a huge stigma that a lot of people don't really talk about, is
Yeah.
that. So that would
And
be.
you're right. Yeah, absolutely. You're absolutely right. I agree. And I'm glad that you came on to talk about it. And I learned a lot personally. I wasn't aware that you could still be in the military. So you taught me something. And I didn't know and Harriet Tubman had it. So that just shows that there's really no limits to what you can do. So I hope all the best for you and your platform and all the wonderful things to happen for you in the future. And please follow Yolanda on IG at Yolanda A. Pinckney. And any other social media or anything else you want to shout out?
I'm on Facebook. um,
Okay.
First and last name Yolanda Pinckney.
All right.
So follow me there. If anyone has any questions, I'm always open to answering anything, and hopefully I inspired someone, because that was
Yeah.
the whole purpose of me coming out here. And thank you again
Absolutely.
for giving me this
Thank
opportunity. I
you.
do appreciate it.
I appreciate you coming on. You have been just wonderful to talk to. So thank you everyone for watching. I appreciate you. If you would just do me a favor and subscribe to Black Equity Talk on YouTube and share this video. And if you don't do anything else, please just understand that epilepsy is something that is anyone could have, and you should educate yourself about it and learn from the wonderful the power that Yolanda has displayed is just awesome. So that's something that everyone can take from. So thank you once again, and we will see you next time.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
So
Thank you. Bye-bye.